I listened to a podcast that you were on very recently, and to use your phrase, you spoke about negative Nellies.
Yeah.
And people who are, well, first of all, I want to ask you, how would you define negative Nellies? It can't be anyone who sees problems with the game, because you and I imagine, would both have our opinions of that. Is it just people who are toxically disparaging of football in Australia? What is it? And does it bother you?
It bothers me. So much so that I've been working in the game for 20 years. I often consider deleting my X account, my Twitter account, because I find that the majority of commentary on there is negative. Now, whether that's because it's just the platform itself, or whether that's the overarching view of football in Australia, I'm not sure. You tell me, but I'm pretty close to it. There are a lot of good things that happen in our sport, and there are a lot of things that need to improve. The current status and health of the APL is concerning. It needs to be addressed. There are a lot of clubs that aren't making money. There are a lot of clubs who are struggling financially. Crowd numbers have been better. It is not all negative, but I think that a lot needs to be done. We're 18 seasons into the A-League, and what we should be seeing is growth year on year, but it has stagnated. In some cases, it's gone backwards.
Right, and this is kind of where I'm at. I wouldn't consider myself a negative Nelly, maybe more of a defeatist Nelly. You can steal that one, in the sense that if we look at support for the national teams, like we were just saying, the Socceroos and the Matildas, the support's really strong. Look at the live sites around the country during both World Cups. The Socceroos just had their most successful World Cup ever. The Matildas, Australia just hosted the most successful Women's World Cup ever in terms of ticket sales and attendances. I believe also in TV views as well, but I'm not too sure of that. We have the highest participation rate of any code in the country. But despite all this, Australians just won't support the domestic league. And I can't see light at the end of that tunnel. So maybe that does make me negative. I follow the A-League. I love my club, but I don't seem to be as positive as you are. Why am I wrong?
I think you're wrong because there is enough understanding of the game, enough love of the game, enough people playing the game in this country for it to be revived. If we look at the halcyon years of the A-League, when we had the Alessandro Del Pieros and the Emil Heskys and the Shinji Onos here, I'm not saying the marquees are the solution, but marketing and thinking outside the square sometimes can help. And how it can help is it then attracts the theatre goers, because the people that were going to watch Del Piero were theatre goers. They were people that grew up watching him play for Juventus. And all of a sudden they go to an A-League game and think, well, actually, this is not so bad. But normally they wouldn't be interested in watching Sydney FC versus Newcastle Jets, because that's the first game he played, and he scored a free kick in front of a packed Sydney football stadium. And then it evolved from there. It gained momentum and then somehow lost momentum. And it's not just about Del Piero, but it's about the marketing of the league and showing the theatre goers that this is actually a great league, an entertaining league to watch. We have to include, not exclude people from wanting to be there. So the overzealousness of security firms and police and the over-officiating of how we attend a game and how we support our teams at a game draws people away from the game. You know, we had a ridiculous case where a few weeks ago where fans were being ejected from a stadium because they were standing on their seats.
Right.
Let's understand football culture a bit better as a country and encourage that type of behaviour, not push it away. Because I've got a son who's 18 and he'll go to the odd game. He'll go to the game. He'll stand in a terrace with his mates. He doesn't want a premium seat on the halfway line. He wants to be in the terrace with his mates, chanting, jumping up and down. And that's an experience for him. That's a unique experience. We also grew up with AFL. I was at the AFL the other day with all my kids. It's a very different experience. It's not a bad experience. It's just a different experience.
Right.
And I think both can survive and both can flourish in this marketplace. But it's a tough marketplace to get it right in.